Your mental health is even more important than money. But before you attack me, before you argue with me, I can tell you now that with good mental health, you can even make more money. With poor mental health, even when you make all the money in the world, you will never ever be happy. And mental health is the secret to happiness. A good mental health is how you become happier. You don't need luxury. You don't need all the sweet things of this world to be happy. But a good mental health is how you need to be happy. Because in the real sense, happiness doesn't come from material things, doesn't come from luxury. Happiness actually comes from having good health, having a loving family, having good people around you, and having joy and happiness. That's how happiness comes to you, when you are happy with every little thing that you have. And how do you become happy? How do you have a good mental health? That's the thing I'll be talking about today. Firstly, and most importantly, you can never ever be happy if you are not mindful and present. Because most of the sorrows that we have today, most of the suffering that we experience today is from having a mindless life. You're always having mindless thoughts. You're always having intrusive thoughts. You are never mindful from one thought to the other. Your mind keeps telling you different things. Last 5 minutes, you are happy. You are fulfilled. When next 5 minutes, something just tells in your mind that you have not been doing enough for yourself. And instantly, you become less happy. Instantly, you become unhappy. That's about mental health. And how do you get happier most of the time, or about 90% of the time? It's just by being mindful. Being mindful and present. How do you become mindful and present? According to what I've always said, meditation. Meditation is the only way you can be mindful and present. Meditation is not one vague word. It's not one big scientific word. It's just a practice where you become mindful and present. That is, in the present moment, in your own body. Where external thoughts is not even a thing. When the thoughts come, you're not trying to chase away the thoughts. You're not trying to silence the thoughts. When those external thoughts come in, those intrusive thoughts, those random thoughts, when they come in, the only thing you need to do is to acknowledge those thoughts and have a feeling that, oh, okay, I'm feeling these thoughts. Then you come back to yourself, come back to the present moment. And how to do this meditation is just a practice of mindful breathing. That is, you are breathing deeply in and out, in and out. And then you are mindful and conscious of that breath. You are feeling that breath. Just like breathing in. You see, I'm breathing in and I'm conscious, I'm here, I'm present. I don't have any intrusive thoughts. I don't have any random thoughts. I'm here and right now, breathing in and out. And if I get a random thoughts about anything, I just bring my focus back to my breath. That's the only way you can be happy, by being mindful and present. Meditation is another course on its own, but I won't go into details. But from the basic point of view, that is what meditation is. Breathing in, out, focusing on your breath, focusing on a part of your body, focusing on a site of something. And then when you have random thoughts, when you have intrusive thoughts, when you have that voice in your head that is talking about so many things, you also bring your focus back to your breath. Just like I'm doing. That's number one thing to get a better mental health and become happy. Because at the end of the day, if you are present and mindful almost at all times, there is no way any thought will make you feel unhappy. Because you just acknowledge the thought and see it as you're just the observer observing the thoughts, and then your focus is back to your breath. Of course, you can't be 100% mindful all the time, but at least if you are conscious and mindful of your breathing, you have random thoughts, you bring your focus back to your breath, I'm sure you become more happier. And you will even be able to make better decisions. That's one secret of getting happier and building a better mental health. And that secret I'm going to share with you today is to bring out the inner child in you. You remember when we were younger, we were the happiest beings on earth. We have no worries, we have no sorrows. Almost everything is provided for. everything we want in this life has been made provision for by our parents. So all we do is just go out there and play. Jump around, play, come back home to eat, go out there and play again. But as we continue to grow, over time, problems comes in, challenges comes in, and then we get overwhelmed. We get carried away by these thoughts. We get overwhelmed by these challenges that comes our way because we think too much about them. And then we forget to bring out the inner child in us. We forget to play like we used to play as a child. Right here, right now, when last have you laughed so hard that you begin to tear? When last have you gone outside to play with, the young ones around you? When last have you gone out there to see little children playing and join them in playing? When last have you giggled like a child? You're always serious. Your mind is always occupied with thoughts, fear of the future. You're always preoccupied with feelings of the past. You're not happy, you're not mindful, you're not conscious. But the solution here is you can actually force the happiness, not in a weird way, but by playing more. Playing more, laughing more. Don't take life too seriously. Laugh a lot. You see little children playing the football on the street, join them in playing the football. Play, laugh hard, sweat, and see that the inner child in you begins to come out, and then you become more happier, you have a better mental health, and you make better decisions, and then your life will have more quality. Because what is the quality of life without happiness and joy? You are always serious, frowning your face because you have problems that you are going through. Overthinking and being too conscious and mindful of that thing that you're passing through, does it solve the problem at all? The problem is still there, right? So why don't you just loosen yourself, unwind, play, fool around, joke around, laugh around, be happy? And then you see that maybe that's even what you need to do to even solve your problems. Maybe you get even better decisions to get out of that challenge that you are in at the moment. But if you don't have a proper mental health, you don't have happiness and joy, how then do you get out of your problems? Mental health is underrated, but it's the most important thing for your business, for your relationships, for making money, for living a better life, for your health. Because with good mental health, your body will reduce stress. You will leave survival mode and you will begin to live happy, mindful, and present. Less stress is a better health. Most of the problems you have today, high blood pressure, could be as a result of you being stressed, overthinking, your BP rises. Poor mental health is the reason you have metabolic diseases like diabetes. Because when you have poor mental health, you are prone to eating more junk food. And when you eat more junk food, the poorer your health. Bring out the inner child in you to improve your mental health. And also, stay away from your phones. Stay away from overstimulation. Overstimulation is another thing that is making your mental health poorer and poorer by the day. You're overstimulated. You want to see more and more content. You want to get hyperstimulated. And that's why your mental health is poor. Because the more content you see, the more brain rot content you will see. And the more brain rot content you see, the poorer your mental health. You have a poor brain. You can't make good decisions. You're always mindless because you want to scroll day by day. And because of that little dopamine spike you get from scrolling, then your body wants more, your mind wants more because you like that feeling that you got from dopamine rush from scrolling. Then you want more. You overindulge. You go more and more into scrolling. And to make matters worse, when that scrolling is not even enough, you scroll all day. You hop onto another kind of dopamine-inducing activity, like video games, loud, fast music, junk food, sugary foods. It's as a result of you craving overstimulation. And because your brain loves overstimulation, of course, anything that will induce dopamine, your brain will love it. Hard work also induces dopamine. Anticipating success and goal achievement induces dopamine as well. But you're not aligned to that. You are more aligned to getting dopamine from overstimulation, most especially from scrolling all day, playing video games, eating junk food, playing loud, fast music. That's how you get your own dopamine. And then your brain wants more and it craves more. That's why you can't get happiness and joy in little things that are meaningful. And that's why your mental health is poorer and poorer every day. You can't have meaningful conversations with friends. It gets boring. Your partner is here with you, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your fiance, your wife, your husband. They're present here with you. But then you want to stimulate yourself with your phone. And then they feel left out. They feel left behind. They feel like you don't care about them because you're not spending quality time with them out of your mindlessness that you got from over scrolling. There's more and more things you need to do about your mental health to improve your mental health, but I'll stop here for today. First thing is meditate, to be mindful and present so that you can be more happy and joyful in life. Second thing is to bring out the inner child in you, play more, laugh more, fool around more, joke more to get a better mental health. And lastly, stay away from social media, stay away from content watching, especially brain rot content. Watch educational content, watch podcasts, watch valuable videos, but stay away from brain rot skits or the comedies, the skits, the challenges that you watch online. It does you nothing. In fact, it makes you more aligned to content watching than actually getting educated. Meditate to be mindful and present so you can make better decisions and be happier in life. Bring out the inner child in you so you can forget your sorrows and problems, be more happy, be more joyful and present. And lastly, stay away from social media, stay away from over-inducing activities that spikes your dopamine. So you can now feel happiness and joy in wholesome things like spending time with loved ones, reading, meditating, journaling, cooking meals, taking care of your environment, and so on. And I'll see you in the next one.